Joining me next is Bill Calkins with Ball Horticultural Company, and your company is really responsible for producing a lot of seeds for our industry. So let's talk a little bit about that aspect of the horticulture world, if you would.
Sounds good. Ball has been in business for more than 125 years. We're a fourth generation family-owned business, started with seed, and now we've moved into vegetative plants. So seeds, plugs, vegetative liners, vegetative cuttings, perennials,
you do
roses,
it all, right?
We do it all.
Okay, so I think most people know you for your seeds. Let's talk about, what you're kind of doing to stay current with that seed production.
So seed production's done, most of it's done offshore, and then the seeds are brought into North America, sold to greenhouses. We package them in West Chicago, Illinois, and ship them out to customers from there. It's actually a pretty high-tech business.
Okay, so when we talk about all of the new plants that are coming on the market, because everybody's always getting the catalogs, looking for the new stuff, how do you stay current with what y'all are producing that is new?
I think that the current trend in a lot of breeding is to produce crops that are easier for growers, easier for the end user, whether that's a home gardener or a landscaper, but we're trying to take away some of the there's not a lot of tolerance for failure right now. So we're trying to breed plants that are better for all levels of the industry.
Okay, so you want the consumer to be successful as well as places like Sedan Floral to be successful, obviously.
Definitely, and what Sedan does, producing so many seed crops, I mean, we're standing in the midst of probably 1 million plugs right now. They need the absolute best seed quality, they need disease resistance, they need seed treatments that allow them to be more effective and efficient growers, and that's really one of Ball's specialties, is in the different forms of seed and processing we do on seeds. Okay,
and let's kind of flip it. What are more the concerns on the consumer side to make them more successful?
I think the consumer side, concerns are definitely disease and failure, right? It's I plant these flowers and then they die, and I don't think most people know why they die, and so they tend to think that failure's on them. And it's usually not. Sometimes it's disease in the environment. So a lot of breeding work right now is being done to minimize disease. We just looked at some vinca that were bred for resistance to aerial phytophthora, which is a very common disease in landscapes.
Right. A lot of times when you plant something in the same spot over and over, that gets in that soil there, right?
Exactly. So. Impatiens is another great example. We had downy mildew, Impatiens downy mildew disease wiped out most impatiens in North America. And breeding companies like Pan American Seed, who's a Ball company, Syngenta Seed, are breeding disease-resistant or highly resistant impatiens now, so we have that great shade plant back.
Okay. And I know when we talk about breeding, a lot of times people think, are these GMOs, or what are we doing here? Can we talk to that a little bit?
All I can say is there's not...
Just
the horticulture industry is not big enough to really take advantage or use that kind of breeding.
Okay.
So we're pretty much all traditional plant breeders, old school, kind of doing it the way it's always been done.
So you're just finding the rare trait and then propagating
crossing it and crossing it and crossing it and replicating it and selecting the best.
Okay. Well, also I know a lot of times we see things come out that are, here's another petunia or something like that, but there's so many different characteristics that people are looking for, right?
I think
sun, shade.
Right, for sure. Sun, shade, drought tolerant. Right now, some of the trends are like big tropical color.
Okay.
There was a new lantana we brought out a couple years ago called passion fruit. It's like every tropical color in the rainbow.
Oh, wow.
And then Cali Burst petunia is a cross between petunia and calibrachoa, so kind of a smaller flowered petunia, but bright, vibrant yellows. A lot of the breeding is being done to pique consumer interest, but also make sure the growers can be successful.
And let's talk about that on a regional scale too, and the success of that, if you don't mind.
So I think historically, a lot of plants were just sort of used across North America, and now we're much better. I think as all the breeding companies are better at selecting these plants for regionality, success in different regions. Like I said, drought tolerance and drought tolerant regions versus, plants for the Midwest where the humidity is extremely high.
Right. And when you say full sun in Oklahoma, that can be different than up north, right?
Different type of full sun, that's for sure.
Very good. So, Bill, you've been in this industry for a while. You guys went through COVID. Tell me a little bit of what you're seeing with the industry pre and post COVID also.
We had a pandemic boom. In 2021 and 2022, our industry saw huge growth. in sales dollars, but also in the number of customers that were coming into garden centers. And the exciting thing is that we retained a lot of those customers, which tend to be the Gen Y millennial age, which is really hitting their peak spending years and is a massive generation. So it's really exciting for our industry to have a whole new influx of customers that are excited about the plants we produce, whether it's annuals, perennials, tropicals, really just about everything across the board. They're buying houses, they're planting vegetables, they're raising their kids in the garden. It's about as exciting as it gets.
That's exciting. Are there any other trends that really you're trying to cater to them now or seeing?
Miniature vegetable plants.
Okay.
So Pan American Seed, one of the companies within the Ball organization, it has a program called Kitchen Minis, and it's small-sized plants, vegetables, mostly tomatoes, peppers, for windowsills and small, I guess, patio gardens,
Right.
which we're seeing as a huge trend. Kitchen Minis is a great program, and that whole movement towards smaller-sized vegetables, I think, is really exciting.
Which is a great way for somebody getting into gardening that
For
maybe
sure.
doesn't have a full garden, just
Yep.
a townhouse house that works for them as
Yeah.
well.
Try some tomatoes and then plant all your beds.
Well, we appreciate all the plants that are coming through Ball Seed and going to be on the market soon. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Anytime. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this video as part of our Oklahoma Gardening YouTube channel. You can also find even more videos on the OK Gardening Classics YouTube channel. And join us on social media for great gardening tips, photos, and discussion.